Tired of bloating, fatigue and sluggish digestion? Meet your gut's new best friend, NutriHealth 365's microbiome supplement. Restore balance, boost immunity, and feel amazing from the inside out. Smart delay release capsules. Real results. Gut health just got personal.
Good morning and welcome to Friday Morning Trending. Today's show brought to you in association with Ultra Health 365. As always, let's jump into the main story. The main story, MI5 chief frustrated over collapse of China spy case. Chinese state operatives present a daily national security threat to the UK. The head of MI5, Sir Ken McCallum, has said. Straight away, China bad, isn't it? Let's divert everyone away from the real issues that we have here in government, the Israel lobby being one of them, and blame it all on China. It's a diversion tactic, isn't it? In a speech, he said MI5 had intervened operationally to disrupt Chinese activity of national security concern in the past week, addressing a row over the collapse of a case involving alleged spying on behalf of China in the UK. Sir Ken said the alleged activity was disrupted by MI5 and that it was frustrating when prosecutions fall through. Again, this is framing the big bad guys being China, although they're trying to roll out the Chinese system here with the digital IDs and make that one make sense. Riddle me this. It's absurd, isn't it? So let's have a look at what these Chinese spies allegedly did or didn't do, or maybe didn't do. What was alleged against Christopher Cash, great name, and Christopher Berry in China spy case. Christopher Cash and Christopher Berry were accused of collecting insider information about UK politics, not the fact that most of our politicians, especially in the Labour Party, are funded by the Israel lobby, which we'll come to in a minute. No, it's the Chinese. And government policy, and passing it on to a Chinese intelligence agent, just the one, and who then forwarded it to KQ, one of the most senior politicians in China, Kai Q even. Kai is often referred to as President Xi Jinping's right-hand man. Both Mr. Cash and Mr. Berry completely denied the charge under Section 1 of the Official Secrets Act. I mean, come on. We had Victor Rothschild in this country, who was the fifth man in the Cambridge Five, was supposedly KGB, and quite clearly he was heading up all of the intelligence agencies. They all work together at the very top. Of course they do. In the US, they're all worrying about China and AI, and we must keep up with the race, when we know thousands of projects were shared between China universities and American universities. This happens all the time, but they need to pick a bogeyman, someone for you to be scared of. So now it's China. Flip back to China. The war in Gaza. Well, it's not war, is it? The genocide in Gaza has been almost complete. We need another baddie now for a little while we literally bring in the trucks, get rid of the dead bodies in Gaza, and rebuild Trump Plaza, or build Trump Plaza even. So they deny the charge, these two fellas. The two men met while teaching in China. Mr. Berry stayed behind, but Mr. Cash, whose other love was politics, got a job in the House of Commons. As you do. He was a teacher there, and then he got a job in the House of Commons. How does this happen? First a researcher, and then as a director of the Chinese research group working closely with MPs like Tom Tugendhat, Alicia Kearns and Neil O'Brien. In a statement released through his solicitor, Mr. Cash told the BBC, "I have for a long time, love me long time, been concerned by the influence of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, in the United Kingdom, and prior to these false allegations was working to inform parliamentarians and the public about those risks." This is all nonsense. Basically, it's been dropped because there's the lack of evidence. But clearly, to me, this is a case of look over there, look what the Chinese are doing. Don't ask questions about the fact that the digital ICT system is going to come here. Don't ask those questions. We know you want we want the system here, and Keir Starmer Trilateral Commission is pushing through that motion. So in one sense, we want to be like some of the Chinese states. It's not the whole of China, by the way. There was different versions of this digital ID system that was tested out in pockets. China's a big place. And to see which one works best for the plebs. And that system was to come over here quite clearly. Gareth, I think it was yesterday, was saying, talking to you guys about digital ID being used to buy beer. We knew that this wasn't going to just be about immigration. That was the excuse to bring in the Chinese system. So they're not worried about the CCP system coming over here. They want it over here, but they need a baddie for a little while to take the heat off of Israel. Quite clearly. It's absurd. But there's no evidence of these guys, so whether they know that they were part of something bigger in the terms of, we're going to accuse you of this, but then we'll retract it because you haven't really done it. But right now we need a baddie, and so China's going to be the baddie for a little while now, and Russia, because always Russia, isn't it? Regardless of the fact that they're all connected into these messianic absurdities. It's fascinating, isn't it? And you can see it coming a mile off, and this is what we were doing here at Iconic. We're telling you what's going to be happening far down the road. And it's kind of sometimes frustrating because you're like, we told you this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 20 years ago, including people like David Icke and people like Max Egan. But it always comes about eventually. So this to me is a look over there, who done it type thing. So in July of 2022, he, Mr. Cash, allegedly sent a voice note saying that this is hard, wasn't it? To Genhadat. No, that's not even close. To Gundat. I'll go with that. Tugundat would almost certainly get a job in Rishi Sunak's Rishi Sunak, he's a wrestler. Rishi Sunak's cabinet. I can't speak today. Both of these pieces of information ended up in reports that Mr. Berry submitted to a man called Alex, who the prosecution said was a Chinese intelligence agent. Or he was just talking to Alexa. In his statement, Mr. Cash said he was aware a small amount of the information he was sending to Mr. Berry was being passed on, but he thought Mr. Berry was working for a strategy advisory company helping clients invest in the UK. That sounds like office talk, Colin, and we know you hate that. In a statement given to the BBC News via his lawyer on Thursday, Mr. Berry gives a similar account. He said that his reports were provided to a Chinese company which I believed had clients wishing to develop trading links with the UK. It all sounds a bit cloak and dagger nonsense, doesn't it, quite frankly, to me. She said, he said, who done it? In the kitchen with a hammer that he's hid under the sink. These reports contain no classified information, Mr. Berry said. Well, what are we worried about then? And concerned economic and commercial issues widely discussed in the UK at the time and drew on information freely in the public domain, together with political conjecture, much of which proved to be inaccurate. It always does, it's political. Some of the information was not for passing on. In the note to Mr. Berry about Hunt, Mr. Cash wrote, VV confidential. Defo don't share with your new employer. VV confidential. That sounds like incredibly difficult encryption to get through, doesn't it? I mean, to decode VV is really difficult. I mean, this is a joke. It's got to be. But you can see what it is. It's casting China as the bad guys, and watch now, the Chinese are coming after you and all of this stuff, when really, look at what the Israel lobby have. So this is from June of 2024. From Declassified UK, Israel lobby funded a quarter of British MPs. It's the Chinese though. It's the Chinese. Some 180 of Britain's 650 MPs in the last parliament accepted funding from pro-Israel lobby groups or individuals during their political career, Declassified can reveal. 180 of them. But these two fellas, a couple of Christophers, disappearing off to China every now and again. They're the leak. The leak that must be busted. 3 members of the DUP, 2 independents and Reform's only MP complete the list. That includes 130 Conservative MPs, 41 Labour MPs and 3 Liberal Democrats, all taking money from China. From Israel. I'm doing it now. From Israel. The total value of the donations from pro-Israel groups, individuals and Israeli state institutions amounts to over £1 million, which is nothing really, and that comes from Donald Trump anyway. Between them, the politicians made over 240 paid-for trips to Israel at a cost of over £500 million. We've got another one over there, Tommy Robinson at the moment, about to lick the wall, I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong. Paid for by the, I think it's the Likud party that I've heard of, Netanyahu, the wanted war criminal, over there pushing that be afraid of those of the Islamic faith. And of course there's bad people in all faiths, as we always say. But you can't just bung them all together and then be afraid of the Chinese. Never afraid of, be afraid of anyone really. The Israelis, and when I talk about Israelis, I'm talking about the Zionist political movement, which is really a front to this cult, Sabbatean cult, that has a messianic agenda for their world to come, which is why you're seeing Gaza flattened. But no, look over there, it's China spies, and it's also it's also Russia. Anyone else, whilst they're taking money from Israel lobbies. People know this though. I mean, it's quite clear that the US government is run by the Israeli lobby, isn't it? It's quite clear that the UK government is infiltrated by the Israeli lobby. We've known this since around about 2015 at least. It's 10 years ago this stuff was exposed. And most people knew that before anyway. This isn't anything new. So this is all a bit of look over there. Don't look over here. It's a sleight of hand. That's exactly what it is. A misdirection. That's what it is. So let's go back to the main story. So in a statement given to BBC News lawyers on Thursday, Mr. Berry gives a similar statement. He said that reports were provided to a Chinese company which I believed had clients wishing to develop trading links with the UK. Sounds very dodgy. Those reports contained no classified information, Mr. Berry said, and concerned economic and commercial issues widely available in the UK. You basically Googled it. Some of the information was not for passing on, and that's when they decrypted the note where it said, very, very confidential, therefore don't share with your new employer. You know, these Chinese spies, they really have this encryption down, don't they? Despite that, it was included in one of Mr. Berry's reports, according to one of Mr. Collins' statements. Do you really think that the Chinese are going to be usually 2 guys that use emails and texts like that? Lol. Very, very confidential. Don't share with your new employees. Lol. How about KFC later on? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Do you think intelligence agents talk like that? Unless they are, and it's a double bluff. Amazing. Amazing story. Total nonsense. They can't go through with prosecuting them because, they haven't got enough information or because there isn't any, basically. So in a letter to Prime Minister, Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch said the events leave a strong impression that your government undermined Britain's national security because you're too weak to do anything other than appease China. In his reply, Sir Keir argued, 2 sirs having a go at you, that the prosecution's case relied on the then Conservative government's policies towards China. It's always the last government, isn't it? At the time of the alleged offences between 2021 and 2023, when all of these people were paid by the Israel lobby. But it was China. In other words, the prosecution's case required demonstrating that the position of the then Conservative government was that China was an enemy of the United Kingdom. Wasn't then, is now. They flip and flop it. Are you my enemy today? Well, you're going to have to decrypt this text I've got here. I've used them emojis. And it was plainly wrong to suggest that had been the case. The head of the CPS, Stephen Parkinson, is also in the firing line. With MPs suggesting that there was sufficient evidence to put the case before a jury. I mean, they just waste money on this stuff, don't they? This is a distraction. I mean, the Crown run the courts. You've got Tommy Robinson going over there, allowed to get out of his own court case that's been delayed by the criminal justice system in the UK, which is the Crown. It even goes through a Knights Templar temple in the City of London, which is the sovereign state within the bigger, greater London, have their own police force. So the Crown is colluding quite clearly with the Israeli state to allow him to go over and lick the wall. And people say, oh no, Britain's under control of Israel. Actually, when you really look at it, it's the Crown that controls the Zionist project. It's a project of this Crown Corporation. And have a look into that. That goes really deep. Everything is twisted up, but it's definitely not the Chinese that you need to worry about. So this is the end of the free part. Well, the open part is still free on iconic.com. Just head over there and you can watch the rest of the show as I continue to crack on with the next two stories.